Nearly 7 months ago, Asus announced what should have been the first 500Hz monitor. However, Alienware / Dell is beating them to the punch. So the first ever 500Hz prototype monitor was announced from Asus about 7 months ago, but there was no information after that. There was no updates, no real progress was made, and then all of a sudden Dell swoops in, name dropping the Asus ROG Swift Pro, super extra long name here, which Asus is going to have to relaunch, and that won't ship till Q2 or Q2 of next year. Well, actually this year now, we're 4 days into it, meaning that Dell Alienware is going to be the first to launch the AW2524H, which is going to be the first ever official 500Hz monitor that you can purchase. As eloquently mentioned from the journalist over here at The Verge, a 500Hz monitor isn't just niche, it's almost unnecessary. You're paying for a feature that is almost indistinguishable to the human corneas. For example, people love numbers, statistics, if you will. A 360Hz panel, which is refreshing the image 360 times per second, and a 500Hz monitor is less than 1,000th of a second, actually 0.78 milliseconds to be exact, of a difference. And that's in best case scenario when you have a graphics card, well, not just graphics card, but your entire rig can keep up with delivering 500 frames per second of whatever game you're playing and whatever graphic settings you have selected. The screen size is 24.5 inches, but other than just having that outlandishly high refresh rate, it's also a G-Sync screen with anti-glare coating, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports alongside a display 1.4. Something to note, if you're using the HDMI 2.1 ports, you'll only get 240 Hz, but that's still pretty damn fast, considering most flagship TVs only offer 120 Hz with HDMI 2.1 ports. You do have four USB-A ports, which are rated for 5 gigabytes per second data transfer, customizable RGB backlighting, because that adds frames per second to your rig and inches to your nose. A pull-out headset, not my favorite method. 3.5mm audio out jacks. I don't know why you need two, maybe if one goes bad or faulty. And of course you have NVIDIA's Reflex Latency Analyzer, marketing gimmick name aside, interesting piece of technology. The downside, this is a 1080p monitor. Actually, there's a couple downsides, like for example, the price I'm sure is going to be outlandish, but 1080p, yes indeed. In 2023, 4K is becoming the norm for gaming now. At least 1440p on the PC side of the house, unless you're in some kind of competitive situation where you are an esports athlete, G Fuel dripping off the mustache, DPI locked at 800 and a polling rate of 1,000 on your mouse, skates smoking on your mouse pad and whatnot. This is just a waste. It is literally a waste, because the difference between, for most normal, average, recreational, casual gamers, 165 Hz monitor is going to be just fine for your needs. The biggest downside of that 1080p resolution is the pixel density, as it's going to be 90 ppi on a monitor of this size. Also, something to note, the 500 Hz is with the panel overclocked, as it's normally a 480 Hz panel, just like 144 Hz panels can become 165 with an overclock. That can be deceiving. You don't generally apply the overclock yourself. It comes from the factory. For example, I have a Pixio 165 Hz monitor. It technically starts life as 144 Hz monitor, but by the time she gets to my doorstep, she's ready for 165 frames per second of action. So I keep her around. She don't pay rent, that's for goddamn sure. If you don't want to have this bad boy on your desk, it of course does have VESA 100 by 100 millimeter mounting patterns on the back. And if you want to connect this to a laptop, you will have a USB-C to DP cable. Lastly, let's touch on HDR, because this does have a 400 certification, although that really doesn't mean jack shit. All that means is that the display can hit 400 nits of peak brightness, which by no means is actual real HDR high dynamic range. Dell has said the price will be announced later this year, closer to the release of these monitors, which again, we know will be before Asus with its Q2 release. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. To get in touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord and check me out at twitch.tv, where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding. Starting June, I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow, because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.